I really find it hard to believe that the U.S. government will be able to do anything to break these companies up. I find it hard to believe they'll have legislation down the road on this very fact. I mean, if you look at the size, how do you really restrict it? Do you restrict it by market cap? Do you restrict it by share? Do you restrict it by revenue? What is the way that they would be willing to restrict it? And I just don't see how that's possible. So I think these companies have gotten incredibly large. Is the lawmakers made the point very early on in the hearing that these companies are acting like emperors and that they're really too big to control. At the end of the day, I think these companies have made some incredible innovation, and I would actually argue that they've actually helped the consumer and lower prices rather than hurt the consumer.
No, that indeed is the case. And one look at the stock prices through that marathon 5-hour hearing overnight yesterday will tell you that the markets don't really pay much heed to what's happening as far as this legislation process is going on. And so what does that mean for the stock prices from here, for the businesses from here?
Yeah, and it's another great question. I think you're going to see these stocks still perform quite well. And one of the things that we've been talking about, and I've been talking about on your broadcast, is, if you look at asset classes and where companies can actually, or investors can get some yield, you can't really get yield in fixed income. On the commodity side, it's quite difficult. And real estate, there's certainly an issue with commercial real estate. Equity markets on a global basis are one of the more attractive asset classes. And then if you look at growth opportunities and companies that are benefiting from this work from home environment, these large cap US tech companies are benefiting. And Amazon remains my favorite large cap technology stock. The stock has done tremendously well this year, but we're nowhere near the end of that growth. And, Apple, everybody's expecting lower units. I don't think that's a surprise, but you're heading into a major upgrade cycle with 5G over the next, call it 2 to 3 years. You're going to see significant 5G units from Apple. So I like these large cap technology companies. Will they lead the way like they have in 2020? I think they're still going to perform quite well. Maybe they don't perform as well, but they're still going to be up and to the right.
Bradley, I understand one thing you are watching, that didn't seem to feature too prominently in the hearings yesterday, is the question of whether or not lawmakers could prevent some of these companies from further vertical integration. So meaning when we see Apple bring chip production in-house, if there's going to be more suppliers coming in-house, or Amazon going into transport, that kind of thing. Do you think that's realistic?
Yeah, and Nancy, I think that's a great question, and I think that's a really important thing for people to focus on, because if you look at some of the innovation that these large cap companies have been doing, Apple has done a tremendous job of bringing some of that supply in-house. So they've been producing their own semiconductor chips internally, and they actually just announced that on a new chip on their MacBook they will be producing. And similarly, if you look at Amazon, Amazon used to be one of the largest customers of FedEx and UPS, and now they're doing more of the logistics themselves. I think it's the right thing. I think these companies have innovated and have done a better job operating these businesses. And I think it's hard to really to find these companies or find something negative about their innovation. And I just don't think it's right for Congress to do so.